Welcome to the EdTech panel session, the most important and fundamental session of this event, in my opinion. Yes, I said so. If you do not agree with me, wait till it's your turn. Okay, the title of this session is Beyond the Screen, Architecting Nigeria's EdTech Ecosystem. And today's conversation will explore the roles of stakeholders in ensuring that technology becomes a tool in solving Nigeria's education challenges and not just another gadget in the classroom. And so we begin. Thank you all for being here. Okay, the primary goal of every educational system is to prepare learners, students for the future. And if we're preparing students for the future, our curriculum has to reflect the realities of that future. So my first question today to you, Dr. Damir, is what changes are needed in Nigeria's education policy to make technology a central part of teaching and learning instead of just an extra tool?
I think what we need as a change is should be matter of emphasis, because the prescription is there, but there should be emphasis on practicals. Most of the schools do not have the basic facilities to make technology practical. Because as the word says, technology is about hands-on. It is therefore not something to be expected that it should be taught in the classroom without anything that the hands will be used to do. So the practicals should be emphasized in our schools. Apart from that, education in Nigeria and mostly in River State should be entrepreneurship driven. We should go to school to increase curiosity in the child and to increase interest in the child. The child should begin to think of what to do even before he finishes or he completes his education, even at the primary level. And if these two things are there, I think we will achieve it. We will then see the value for technology. We don't just teach technology in the class without the child handling anything at all.
Thank you very much, sir. Sandra, any thoughts?
Yes. One thing I would like for us to acknowledge is that technology adoption starts long before people enter the workforce. So I would say that policy should not treat technology as a separate subject. We heard from the esteemed NIDA representative that we have digital literacy courses in schools now. Like the panelist has rightly said, we shouldn't just teach it, and it shouldn't just be theory, it should be hands-on, they should be able to practice. So when I say that it happens long before people enter the workforce, from primary education, there should be the fundamentals that people know. Children should leave secondary school demonstrating confidently how to use productivity tools. It becomes part of life. It's like reading and writing. It's not just for computer studies. So for that evolution to happen, technology has to be part of our day to day. It's like waking up and eating breakfast. So we include it in the primary education, the theory and the practical. They confidently express themselves using tech tools, communicate digitally, and so on. So that's what I would say for now.
Okay, thank you very much. Any thoughts?
Oh,
yes. Okay. Yes, nice perspectives. Well, when you asked the question, one thing just came to mind. What should be integrated in the policy to make sure technology, stands out? We can't help it. If we do a lot more advocacy on lifestyle, then people, especially those in the rural areas, get to understand that technology is something we should embrace. So we don't get to face issues of vandalizing, stuff when put up. So I know that if the lifestyle advocacy, especially from the rural areas, is fed, yes, adoption will be easier. So policies around that to ease and cleanse that culture of seeing tech as something foreign should be worked on so that we can embrace inclusivity.
Okay, Nigeria is currently facing a major education crisis today, with the number of out of school children increasing, should I say, every day. So, what specific policy interventions are needed to deploy low bandwidth or offline edtech solutions to reach these children?
When we talk about building interventions or solutions, we need to think equality. I understand that customer segment is a thing. When you're building a product, you have a target audience, but then inclusivity is making it affordable, accessible. You need to think connectivity. You need to think about digital literacy levels. Not everyone can comfortably learn in English language. So we need to include language in it. We also need to think about usability. Can people navigate the platform? When they see your device or your solution, can they work with it? So when we say interventions as well, we can think of something hybrid.
I feel you.
We need to combine online and offline or traditional systems for people to access. Now, imagine someone in your community who struggles with internet and serious power issues, power supply issues. But he doesn't or she doesn't have to go through all that because there's a tech hub around the corner. Imagine every street, every community with well-equipped tech hubs. When I mean well-equipped, internet is stable, there is power supply, and there is a management team that ensures that everything is safe. If a child grows up in that kind of community, technology is already part of their lives.
Yes.
So even though I don't want to say so much, but imagine that child going in there and accessing downloadable lessons, attending flexible classes, getting mentorship, structured ones, and then also building and completing projects because they see the problem and they are learning to solve the problem for the future. And that child gets a certificate. That child should be able to compete globally, no matter where they are from or where they live. So when we want to talk about interventions and solving the out of school issue, we need to think online, yes, offline too. Let them get into places where they can access every junction. Like we have churches in every street. Let's have tech hubs in every street, tech hubs in every community, tech hubs in states. And I'm not talking 1, 2, 3 tech hubs. I'm talking hundreds because there are millions of children out of school, like we said. So millions of trainers. We need global expertise or exposure. So the trainers are getting trained and they are training the children, the teenagers, the adults, and so on. And technology becomes that. So when we look for founders, when we look for problem solvers, we're not looking to import anything. We have builders here and we can do something for our internet. We can build power supply issues or solutions that solve that. We can use it in banking. We can use it in communication. We can use it in trade. All that builds because we set it from the foundation for every child in every area, community, rural, urban, to access. Thank you.
Wow, thank you.
Let me add something to support what Shia just said. The concept, the issue of out of school is first a conceptual issue. If you go to the north, it's a different ball game. If you come to the south, look at the Niger Delta, that is placed today as a focal point. There are schools virtually in every community in the Niger Delta. But most of the schools may not have teachers. Most of them have teachers, but are not there in the schools because of insecurity. Most of the schools have no buildings, and so there is no place for the child to go and learn. And so it becomes a different issue when you compare it to places that the learners have no access to education. Here they have access to education. but the opportunity is not there. Opportunity, I mean, there is no learning space. Learning space meaning who to teach and where to sit and learn. And what are the problems? Number one is insecurity. Insecurity has become a very big problem in the Niger Delta. That the teacher is afraid to go to the class. The parent is even afraid to send the child to the class. So the child becomes a victim of circumstance. And so if we do not understand all these dimensions that are responsible for the out of school, we may not get it right. If we say we are sending facilities to these places, manpower becomes another problem. I know schools that have these computer systems, but these computer systems have not been used since they were installed here in River State. And so when we talk about technology too, and inclusiveness, how do we make the inclusiveness possible? When our materials are not safe, like she has rightly said, this thing should be there, this other thing should be there and should be there. When these things are not safe in these places. I know also schools that the computer sets are in the hands of either the principal or the head mistress or headmaster. They are not used. One, because of insecurity. Some have been vandalized. And so it is an issue that should be analyzed properly before solutions are offered. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
I'd like to.
Sorry, in the interest of time, we have to move to the next question.
Okay.
So my next question is to you, Eno.
Okay.
So success in the digital age often stems from parents who don't just keep resources for their children, but plant them by teaching financial and digital literacy early on. So the question is, how can Nigerian parents adopt this mentorship mindset? Okay, so this is for Nigerian parents. Okay, I like this one because I'm a parent too. So there are so many rules and regulations on use of digital tools when it comes to advices for parents and their kids. However, I really like to look at context a lot, and I'll give you an instance. This thing called screen time. I know a home where screen time is 30 minutes a day. I'm not a professional, but in fairness, it's very unrealistic. And I'll explain why. We need to decide what screen time we are assigning our kids to. So let's say we want to get them some level of digital literacy education. 30 minutes a day. Is it 30 minutes for watching YouTube games? Is it for watching videos? Or is it for learning a skill? So let's separate that. So that comes to the rules. So for parents, so that it's a very passionate topic and I might, debate. So let me just hit it hard. Become a co-learner with your kids. Learn the tech that your kids are learning. Don't say I've sent them to school. Because if I may say, these kids can run you straight. They're so sharp, they're so smart. And when I say learn the tech of your kids, you don't have to learn the actual app. Learn stuff like, for instance, on social media, parents should understand algorithms, understand privacy and digital footprints, understand browsers, some security features, understand that, become an educational mentor. We can't run away from it. Your kids are growing, they are learning, and you can't stop them. The 30-minute screen time is a rule I do not stand for, especially as I have children in my community that are learning all the time. So, but we can say screen play time, 30 minutes, so you don't play too much. And then there are other things you'll build. Imagine the kid learning Python, for instance. It's going to take longer than that. So apart from being a co-learner with your kids and learning the tech that they learn, try not to be, let's say, archaic. The AI tools are in vogue, be aware. So now this is a call to say, I know some parents will also say, it's not really my thing. It's something you have to intentionally learn so that you can take control of the space. Even the rules that you will set for the kids, the digital tools that they'll use, set it together. So for instance, at home, we don't watch TV Monday to Thursday. We do it on Fridays. So they look forward to Fridays. And I noticed that every time they get to sleep in and watch TV, like let's say in the evening, they're not coordinated in the morning. this is my role and I have my reasons, right? So you form the rules with your kids, become a co-learner with them on the tech that they are using, understand what they're using it. For instance, don't say, what are you doing on TikTok? Ask the child, why do you think this content was created? What's the tool that was made to create the content? I have triplets, a set of triplets. My son's learning Canva, for instance. Now he's bugging me at every point in time, right? It's no longer, I don't even go to him saying, drop the laptop. I'm checking, so what have you designed today? It's more, inclusive and accommodating because we're learning something. So let's try and integrate digital literacy. The parents should step up to the mentorship aspect by going out to learn the tech skills that their kids are learning and understanding how and why, ethics around those tools. That's where I feel the parents should have mastery on, so that they're not intimidated by the screen time and the use of digital tools with their kids. I'll stop there.
Thank you very much. Very profound. As a parent, you have to move from just providing
Don't be tech
devices
police.
for your children
Yeah.
and to being actively involved in how those
Yes.
devices are used. Thank you very much. Does anyone have any contribution?
With due respect, the parent we're talking about in Nigeria and in Rivers State, who is the average parent in Rivers State and in Nigeria? I mean the average parent. Because I think we need to also consider the inclusiveness in this direction. The average parent in Nigeria, I don't think has access to all these things we're talking about. But their learners or their children or their wards, if the government is able to provide the enabling environment, the children may have the access to these things without the parents having the access to them. Let's take, for instance, the average Niger Delta child. Like me, I grew up in the rural area. I'm from Abuja, Bedouin precisely. I did not see a television in our house until I finished my secondary school. And those parents are still there now. But here is a child who comes to the house with an iPhone or maybe a phone or something that can make him access all these things I'm talking about. The parent may not even know what he's doing, but he has a role to play by allowing the child to do what he is doing. But how will he know that what is allowing the child to do will profit the child? Because that is the fear of the parent. And so what we should do, to add to what she has said, because that is for the urban parent, what we should do for the rural parents to also ensure inclusiveness is to advise the teacher. I don't know how many teachers are here, because most of these things should start from the school. That's what I'm saying. I don't know how many teachers are here. These things we are doing today are supposed to originate from the school. The NGOs and organizations are supposed to support the school to do what the school is doing to make it impactful. So what I'm trying to suggest is that the teachers should not be far away from the parents. The teachers know what the parents are doing. The teachers should be through their PTA, Parent Teacher Association. They should advise the parents. Please, these are things, assignments that we are giving the children to do. These are areas we want the children to develop their skills. Allow them to do them. Don't be afraid. And once there is an issue, you should link us the teachers. We are going to guide you. We are also going to monitor how they are going to use their phones. A lot are happening. So not minding the fact that the parents are far away from the material itself, the news, the information making rounds are filtering into their ears. And so once they see the child with a phone, they are not afraid. But when the teacher is close to them, through their PTA and the rest of them, they will be guided, they will be advised. And by the grace of God, with time, I think they'll begin to work together with the school and the organizations to ensure that they also make their own inputs and contribute their own quota in the development of what we're talking about today.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. So my final question before we open the floor for questions from the audience. Beyond internet access, what are the primary leakages in our current educational infrastructure that prevents tech from being effective?
One, I would say readiness.
Readiness, because of what we've been talking about, emphasizing on readiness. Something just came to mind, and I would like to say this to everyone. Please do not run away from technology. Technology generally shouldn't become a barrier. It's supposed to reduce barriers. It's a tool to enable. People are important. People. So you first. Do not run away from learning new things. You don't have to be a tech expert. So that we can have more people in these tech hubs you're speaking about. We can have more people and have a society where there is a child to a tutor kind of maybe call it partnership. Imagine your child having a tutor that is assigned to her alone. So the tutor understands, guides, mentors, and all of those things as they use new devices, as they're exposed to new technology. So when you do not run away, when you open your heart to digital literacy, you help with readiness. Society becomes ready to embrace technology, to create technology, to use technology. So readiness is one thing. I'm not going to speak about another kind of infrastructure gap. I'm going to talk about people and readiness. But then another one is research. Do we have research labs? Are we thinking about research labs where we can gather, where we can study, where we can understand the people that we are building for and how they navigate these things, the challenges that they face? Do we have funding for this research? Do we have funding for the development? So when we do research, we have enough data to understand the challenges and what we are really solving. Now, technology is for education, for everything that we are doing, agriculture and all. But who will use them? Who builds them? Do we keep importing? Or do we keep just having ideas and there's really no strong system to? So before we talk about if Nigerians are building or using the next groundbreaking technology, let us ask one question. Are we strengthening the foundation that supports this technology we are building or embracing? Are we strengthening the foundation that supports it, that allows it to thrive? Do we have reliable power supply? When the person that has left secondary school is trying to get an internship, or the person who has left the university is trying to get a professional job or looking for opportunities, when they sit down, wake up at 2 a.m. to study, do they have light to study? Is their internet stable? Can we provide that? Can we say between now and December, we are going to do something groundbreaking in Niger Delta that will make all the youth, the children, feel that we are ready for technology, that we are ready to embrace, to build, and allow it to thrive? Those are the things that are really pressing, and I'm going to stop there.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Because we do not have time, we have to take questions now.
Mine is not really a question, but I also just thought I should respond to what the representative from
that guy
the
enter my
state
spiel.
government said.
I'll refer to.
Universal basic education. I think I wouldn't want us to leave this room having the same mindset that has brought us to this same level. Because if we look at the team syntropy, it says synergy, collaboration. It is not the time we have to, start apportioning blames or running away from responsibilities. First of all, we must accept the fact that whatever situation we find ourselves in, we are all culpable. Culpable in one way or the other. If I want to ask from the universal basic education in Rivers State, when last did you train your teachers? I believe these days training of teachers is no more compulsory. Teachers possibly they train themselves on their own. Those who want to reach further, those who want to advance their education, probably they're doing their MSc or PhD in different schools. But the government take responsibility. Because governance has now reduced education to building infrastructure, building beautiful school buildings without equipping the schools with digital learning facilities. If you talk about insecurity, why computers are being stolen, I can also tell you that that is not correct. What about the schools that are in the township that are not in the rural communities? Are they computer literate, the students? How many computers do they have? These children, do they have access to laptops? Because you see, even in the universities, the same thing, because it reflects in even our scholars that we've sent abroad.
Is everything?
Our scholars who send abroad, the major problem they have is computer literacy. They spend most of their time trying to understand computer literacy. So rather than making distinctions, that eats their time. That's why in this last aptitude test, we said for you to apply, you must also have computer literacy. Because over there, assignments are done through computers, your tests are through computers, you even hardly see teachers talking to you. So this is a global community, we must grow to that level. What is the standard here in our universities? What is the standard here in our secondary school? Do we interact that way with our teachers? Even the teachers, they themselves, do they even understand how computer is being operated? So we must tell ourselves the truth. So let us not just be building big buildings. We have commissioned a very big school building and everybody's applauding us. What is in those buildings? That is what is most important. Education is not in the building. Just like hospital is not in the structure. Hospital is in the equipment inside. Does that hospital have MRI? Does it have CT scan? Or is it a place where people are being killed because there are no facilities? And apart from the facilities, what about the personnel? So if today government purchases all those computers, laptops, give laptop to all the children, what about the quality of personnel to teach them? Because the education, just like we have our phones, every 2 days you see app updates. That is how we are also supposed to be updated. If you're a teacher, you must be updated. My experience when I was in my final year at university, when I went to see my supervisor, he was a consultant in Shell, and in front of him was an education student that was doing political science education, and she was writing on SPDC, and he asked her, what is SPDC? There was an SPDC calendar just behind him. She could not tell what SPDC was. And the question asked, are you the one that will go and start teaching my younger children in school? But she's going to be an education graduate, by the way. So what does she have to offer? What knowledge does she want to transfer to those children? Now, if you look at the past, almost all of us that grew up, I attended the public school. The public school wasn't that fantastic. People above us, they attended public schools. Leaders of this country that attended public schools, both primary and secondary school. Some of them even they schooled in the villages. Some of them they had no books. But the truth is that the quality of education then was better than what we have today. Because then government was not investing in infrastructure. Government was investing in the training of those teachers. Then our teachers training colleges were very, very effective. You hear that people are going to Kaduna for teachers training. People are going to then COE. They had a teachers training college here in Port Harcourt. Now most of all those institutions are closed. So where do these teachers go for training? So those of us who are in authority should also ensure that we collaborate with the private sector and others to bring to at least to close that gap. Let us stop investing on infrastructures that do not add value to our education. Today, you see people migrating to private schools, not because they have the money to pay those heavy big bills, but because they want better future for their children. You see people sending their children abroad to school is because they want a better future for their children. But we can also create that here. The era of COVID actually told us in the world that classrooms are no more necessary, that digital education is the future. So if we now concentrate too much on building big classrooms, big school buildings, two-story buildings that we want to commission just to make the people know that we are working for people to applaud us. We spend heavy money in creating ceremonies for commissioning. But the question is that going to build the future? The answer is no. So please, let us take responsibilities for where we are failing. I am also in government. We know areas where we are also weak, but we are working towards strengthening those areas. That's why even in NDDC, just last year, we know that one of the major gaps is digital education. We acquired 45,000 U-lesson tabs that was distributed to schools in the Niger Delta, which was the highest purchase that has been made in this country, because we identified that gap enough. And unfortunately, as you're talking about criminality and insecurity, in my state, Bayelsa State, in one of the schools, one of the principals diverted those tabs and sold them. The teacher was apprehended, the principal was apprehended, and those tabs were brought back. So while we are blaming criminals out there, even amongst us too, we have criminals that are also sabotaging us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Good day, everyone.
Day.
Okay, so basically, I just want to talk about the fact that teachers now lose their motivation for teaching and venturing into tech. I think the problem is probably, yes, exactly, it's for motivation, but the fact that their income is not enough for them to venture into this tech and to promote it, and them not having the motivation to venture into it affects us, the students. So my point basically is teachers should be appreciated for their efforts, because now it's just the passionate teachers that still look for ways to boost technology and to boost development in the classrooms they are assigned to, but the others that lose their motivation looking at what they gain from the teaching and what they should give into is not balancing and is affecting us, the students.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. So I would like to say something quickly concerning that. Can we train 1,000 teachers between now and December in Niger Delta? I have a learning management system. I train people. I've seen people who do not know how to use spreadsheets, who do not know how to use Google Drive to manage files, who do not know how to send emails and copy other emails. And some of them are actually teachers in some of the schools. I'm not going to be blaming teachers. Everything she said is correct. My mom was a teacher. My mom is late. Yeah, she was a teacher. She was in Army Children's School, Borikam. I don't think when they were there was anything like computer studies anyway. But now back to today. We can change that. We can train public school teachers, give them what they need to pour into the children, our children in the schools. Let's take that as a project and let's execute it. Let's intentionally pour into that. Monitor it, give the reports about it, put it out there, encourage more teachers to join during the next cohort. We could break it down into cohorts. First, we could do a research, understand the challenges that the teachers are facing, gather the data. What is making them lose their motivation? What do they think they would like to earn? Maybe some could, out of fear, put something that is not really. But let's just hear from them. Let's not solve the problem like we already know. Let's reach out to them, gather this data. Why do teachers leave teaching? Are they valued enough? What do they call value? What does it mean for a teacher to feel valued? Let's understand them. Let's work with their minds, because our children's future depends on this. Their cognitive capacity, their numerical reasoning, the solutions that they will build tomorrow, all depends on this. If our teachers are not equipped, if they do not know how to use spreadsheets, I'm not talking enabling, integrating AI and using AI to get the numbers and the formula. If they do not know how to enter data correctly into spreadsheets, then we are not going to be talking about advanced technology. Let us sort out the issue of digital literacy within schools. Let's train teachers. 1,000 teachers. I am in. If you're an NGO here, if you're an investor, you're in the government, please let's speak after now. Let's all come together. There are edtech providers here. We have solutions. We are building something. I attended Federal Government College Port Harcourt. I'm not going to say that we were not exactly, I'm grateful for the education I had there. However, we could do much more for our teachers. I'm not even sure the teachers had access to some of these devices then. Whatever effort teachers are putting in today, they are doing it by themselves. They are paying money on Coursera and learning and using their salary to, just make it, to pour their passion into this. But I want people to step in, make it subsidized for them, include it in the school. Let teachers have a day off to be trained, to be exposed to technology, all of those things and more. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. This is where we draw the curtain on today's session. Thank you very much for your participation, and thank you to our panelists for your valuable insights. Enjoy the rest of the event.